y'all, it's me Alex. Today I want to do a video about 3 different ways to do colorful brows. If you have bright hair like me and you want your brows to be able to match, I'm going to give you all some different options as to what to do. So for one of the brow looks, I'm going to use a brow gel that is specifically made for colorful hair that isn't Kat Von D. It's actually from Distinction Brow and Lash. For another one, I'm going to show you how to do brows with like a natural color for the days that your hair might be fading a little bit and your roots might be showing kind of like my hair is right now. And this last one that I actually have right now, I used some eyeshadow that is about the same color as my hair. This is really good if you're just getting into making your colorful brows match your hair and you're not entirely sure if you're committed enough to your hair color that you want everything to like match perfectly, so you just want to explore with the eyeshadows that you have. So anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna get started. Okay, so this method for doing brows involves actually using a brow gel that is meant for people with colorful hair who want their brows to match. It's from Distinction Brow and Lash, and it's in the shade Peacock, which is a pretty good match for my hair. It's a better match when my hair is first dyed. Even if you have like normal colored hair, you generally want your brows to either match perfectly or be just a little bit darker to make it look more natural. Not that this is gonna look natural in any way, shape, or form. I'm gonna use this brush, which is an IT Cosmetics angled liner brush, I think it is, but I got this at Ulta. It's like 12 bucks, which is a lot to pay for a liner brush, but it's really worth it. And I use this to do my brows no matter what I'm using. There's a bit of a learning curve with this product if you're used to like ABH Dipbrow. That's basically because I didn't realize how pigmented Dipbrow was in comparison to like literally every other brow product. I usually just kind of go with my natural brow shape because I think I have a good shape. I just want a little bit more filled in at the tail, and I also of course wanted to match my hair, hence the idea for this whole video. So I'm going to start by creating a little bit of a straight line underneath the very front of my brows, and then I'm going to bring it up into the arch, just kind of following my natural brows, and I start to go a little bit lighter towards the end and I kind of like flick it out, you know? And so I kind of just follow the natural curve. On the upper part of the brow, I start with the tail end first and just go in like that again up until like I kind of want the arch at the top. This brow always ends up a little bit more angled than this brow, but like that's fine. They're sisters, not twins, and they still look pretty good to me. And now at the beginning of my brow, I don't take it all the way to this part. I stop about here-ish. And then I just bring it out and attach it to the rest of the brow. And this is a part that I'm not like super precise in. I'm one of those people who doesn't do like the fancy individual brow hairs. I just want to color it the frick in. So I start by doing the most pigment towards the tail. And we're gonna kind of work our way through and just draw it in like this. And so as you can see, I'm kind of leaving this part a little bit empty-ish, and that's because now at this point, instead of like going through and coloring everything in like I'm working in an adult coloring book or something, I'm instead gonna kind of flick it up like this and create kind of a natural-ish effect. And I'm gonna fill this part in a little bit more just because that's how I like it. And then I just take a little spoolie that I have and use that to kind of blend in the front of my brows. And if it gets a mess, I can use concealer to kind of clean it up, but that's optional as I think I'm pretty decent at keeping things in line, and also I just generally cover this entire area up with eyeshadow anyway. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do my other brow. Okay, so this is my first method of doing colorful brows using a colorful brow gel. Okay, so this brow technique is actually going to show like a more natural side to the brows, so this is really good for if your hair is kind of like mine is right now and it's in the in-between stages of not quite faded enough to touch it up, but faded enough for like it to not quite match to other colors that you want to put on your brows, and your roots are growing in and it's just looking a little weird. So I'm going to use what is my go-to kind of natural brow color, which is dark brown Dipbrow Pomade by Anastasia Beverly Hills. Let me scooch on over here. As you can see, I've hit pan on this. I've had this for like 2 years and it's still functioning really, really well. I like this a lot because even though it's called dark brown, it does really have a nice buildable quality. It is pretty pigmented, but it's still like buildable yet pigmented, if that makes sense. So I am able to like lighten it or darken it based on like what my roots in my hair are kind of looking like, so it doesn't like do too much. So I'm gonna use my It Cosmetics angled brush as usual, and I'm kind of just gonna go in and do the same shape that I did when I used the Distinction Brow and Lash product. And so I'm gonna just start at the very beginning of my brow. And I didn't like dip too hard into the Dipbrow, but I'm just bringing it up like this. And I'm going to kind of curl it back like this. Just go into the tail part, and then I'm going to do the upper part of the tail. And so again, I'm going to take it to about where I would say usually at the front I leave about the length of my angled brush open, but draw the line to the rest of it. And so instead of drawing in the hairs, I'm just going to fill it all the way the heck in. I'm not a precise person, I ain't got time for drawing in brow hairs. I just want to fill it in, have my brows looking super thick. And I'm going to now start at the very bottom of the front and just push it on up through there and do a little bit like this. I'm not exactly always good at explaining this, which is weird because I'm doing a tutorial, but here we are. But yeah, that's basically what I do. With the Dipbrow product and with any brow pomade, I don't really feel the need to use like a clear brow gel or anything like that, but if you do, you can go ahead and put that on. But I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly fill in the other one. And so this is my natural way of doing brows. Okay, so this last technique is actually something that's really good for beginners. So like if you've just dyed your hair a new bright color and you're not sure if you're ready to commit hard enough to like get a brow gel that it like matches the color of your hair, what I really like to do is to use an eyeshadow about the same color as my hair. So I have two options for the color that I have my hair now. The first one that I used a lot is Fringe from the Urban Decay Electric palette. This is really good when my hair is a little bit darker, a little less faded than it is right now, because it's a little faded right now. And the other option is Boombox from the Suva Beauty palette, which I think I'm gonna go with that one for today. I just dug my nail into it. That's really great of me. But literally the only things that you need are the eyeshadow that you want to use and like a little clear brow gel to put on top. I use this just to put on top of it because my brows are a little thick. It can get a little unruly. So usually when I use a pomade, I don't have to use this, but since I'm using a powder that doesn't have that same holding effect, this is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to use that same angled brush that I used for the last two brow looks and just dip it into the shade Boombox right there ever so lightly. And again, I'm just going to start at the very front and move it up like so and just make that line underneath the brow. And then I'm gonna go up on top. Again, it's just like the same technique, I'm just doing it with different products and I'm shaping the brow. This is a lot easier to blend to than like a pomade, so this is really good to begin with. And then I'm going to go over to about here and bring it up to hit the arch. I think that this is a really nice shape for my brow. And so I'm going to work on filling it in. And I'm going to just kind of blend it up using a little bit of shadow right there. Now I'm going to go in and put this on the other side real quick. Okay, so now to kind of finish this part off, to just kind of set everything in place, I'm going to use this NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. This is like a holy grail product of mine just because it sets my brows just so in place and it's really nice. And it's also like super cheap. It's like $5, which is always what I want. And as you can see, since I've used this for like on top of colored products before, there are some parts that are kind of just getting all over the place. While it's still wet, I can use my finger to just clean it up. This is also a good part that if you really want to carve out your brows with some concealer, you can go in and do that too. I don't think that this is necessary. I think this turned out really well. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe down below if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you on my next one. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.